Hello and welcome everybody. This is GiveUAnxiety on the mic, and I'm going to be casting a ESOC tournament match here. This is a round of 32 match from the ESOC Autumn Championship 2018 tournaments, and we're going to be seeing Risi123 versus Tits. So they actually already started their series the other day and they weren't able to finish it. So this is a best of 5 series and it is currently tied 1-1. So I'm going to adjust the scores right away. And let's get into this one. This should be a really good series. Like I said, they're tied 1-1. Two really skilled players. So you guys are going to be in for a good match here. Alright. Okay, so we got Tit playing as the Russians up north, and Risi123 is playing as the British in the south. This is a gold start, and let's see, gold start and 200 wood start. Risi is deciding to drop down to market, and he was able to pick up 40 coin treasure, so that's nice. And now he's going to gather a little bit of coin himself, so he's going to use this to buy some wood. Let's take a look at Explorers, finding 75 wood treasure. Let's take a look at Tit's starts. He just left a gold crate on the floor. Alright. Let's go. Alright, so Risi is researching hunting dogs right now, and he's dropping down a house himself. Tit picks up 30 wood treasure. Oh, and Risi is finding a native treasure, so that's always really nice whenever you can pick up a native scout. So hunting dogs is completed for Risi. Ooh, and Tit does find the villager treasure, so this is really nice. He's going to start working on this villager treasure. There are a lot of wolves, so it does take some time to pick away at this treasure. And let's see, Risi is kind of making his way over there, but oh, now he's working on his own treasure. So it looks like Tit is going to get this villager treasure, uncontestedly. So that's really nice, getting a free villager in age 1. This is also a pretty good treasure for Risi, the tomahawk. So Tit does get that villager treasure. He's just going to use this villager to herd some far hunts, and possibly use that villager to drop down a blockhouse a little bit later. So Risi's going to have a nice little age 1 army here. He's got a native warrior, and then he's also picking up a tomahawk. So that's actually going to be really nice for detecting where Tit places down a forward blockhouse and potentially killing a villager. So these treasures could prove to be very important for Risi. Tit is now going for a 60 food treasure. There's also 50 wood treasure over here that Tit can get a little bit later. Oh wow, looks like, I'm not sure if, it looks like Tit must have microed his villagers or something, but because he's gathering really far from his town center, especially like in age 1, you wouldn't expect your villagers gathering food this far away from a town center. So I assume he must have shot them away on accident. That's actually pretty poorly, because Russia's timing to H2 can be pretty important, and usually you want to gather like as efficiently as possible so your age up isn't too late. But he's actually had quite a bit of walking time, looks like, since all these hunts are so far away. So Tit is now on his way to Age 2. Take a look at shipment sent. We got 3 villagers for Risi, and then just a wood circle for Tit. Just standard play. And Tit is dropping down a market here first, building out here for some line of sight. And he's going to pick up this 50 wood treasure, so nice treasure right there. Let's take a look at Risi. I think he's just positioning his units, try to find the forward blockhouse. Building some manners outside, get some line of sights. And now we do have 1 Russian villager on the move here, so let's see where this guy's going. Nobody building I can't even say the word. Nobody building trading posts quite yet. And it looks like this villager might be going for a trading post. Alright, so Risi is now in age 2. Yep, this Russian villager is building a trading post here, and Tit's using an explorer to build this other trading post, so the too far trading post. Oh, and, okay, and Tit does send advanced trading posts. So trading posts are going to be cheaper, and they're going to have an attack and more HP. So he's waiting to drop down his initial trading post and waiting for that card to come before building any trading post. And we do have a defensive blockhouse going down for Tit right here. We're pretty close to his town center. So Tit's going to be playing a defensive game and booming away quite a bit. Can try to get all these TPs, and I'm kind of surprised to see Risi not building any trading posts. If Risi lets Tit just build like all 5 trading posts completely for free, that's going to be a huge economy boost for Tit if he can get Stagecoach with 5 TPs, and that's of course really good. So let's see if Risi does go to claim a trading post now. Okay, now he does. So he's gonna have at least one. Let's see if he's not trying to build the second one. Even 4-1 would be still really big. So let's take a look at Risi. He does drop down a stable. He ships 700 wood. Let's take a look at text completed. So for Tit, we got hunting dogs and gang saw. For Risi, we got hunting dogs, gang saw, and placer mines. No steel traps quite yet. So we got 3 cav batch out for Risi. Oh, he is gonna find this villager though, so that's gonna be really nice for nice little pickup, and the explorer too. So that's actually really good timing for those cav to come out. Tit's trying to still get the TP built, moving his explorer around, trying to still get it up, but it's not going to get up. It does take longer for this trading post to get killed though, because it just has some more HP. And now here we go, we got 5 Cossacks coming in, and looks like they might be catching these cav, and there's only 2 cav here, a couple free shots. This is going to be a little bit rough for Risi. Yeah, so getting some free hits there. Oh, and it looks like the native might be going down too, along with the explorer. 3 more cav hussar coming in, and now the villagers moving forward to finish the trading post. Tis now retreating with these Cossack. Alright, so economic population, we got 26 for Risi and 20 for Tit. But Tit is going to have a 4-1 trading post advantage, so that is very significant. Yeah, so Tit did ship 5 Cossacks after advanced trading post, and then he follows that up with 700 wood. Risi going with the 600 wood right after 700 wood, and he's dropping down to barracks himself. He does have or so what is it, 8 hussars out on the field. And we do have both players have researched steel traps. No placer mines for Tits. And Risi is ahead in score by quite a bit, but there are the 4 trading posts for Tit. And Russian score is always quite a bit lower. So we do have 5 muskets coming out for Risi here. Let's see if he's going to try to defend his trading post here. Oh, we got a large reinforcement army coming for Tit though, so Rizi's not really going to be able to... we do have some more cat coming for Risi though. But this isn't going to be a good trade at all. Risi really can't take this. There's too many muskets on the field. And all of a sudden there's just a lot of hussar that aren't really doing anything. They could be trying to raid, but it's just units that can't defend this. We do have a stable going down for Tit. It is also tough to raid because Tit does have a lot of line of sight on pretty much the entire map. And it looks like we do have Stagecoach now researched. So Tit has 4 trading posts and Stagecoach. He's about to get a 5th trading post. Looks like we might have a big engagement here. Military advantage is very heavily in favor for Risi though. His army, he does have quite a bit of muskets. And here we go. This is a really big engagement. And it looks like this could go really well for Risi. He's going to try to chase down Tit's army and snare them. Cav's slowing down a little bit. Oh, you really got to get the snare. It's a little bit of a miss micro from Risi, letting the units get away for a little bit. He's now going and tracking them down, and still forcing the engagement. So it's still going to look really well for Risi. Risi even calling Minutemen here, and very big engagement. This is Tit's entire army pretty much dropping here. He does escape with his Cossacks. But if you look at the military count, it is very heavily in favor of Risi, and I like this. Risi just pretty much cleared his army, and he's sending his entire army to just continue to put pressure on, rather than maybe sieging down the TPs. And oh, Tit does pop out 5 muskets, trying to defend his blockhouse here. Oh, and the Strelith pop, very good pop from Tit right here, and good chance to, try to defend here. Might even see Minutemen being called, but still very big engagement here. Some reinforcing Cossack coming. No Minutemen quite yet. There's the Minutemen pop. And all of a sudden it's looking like Risi maybe overextended, or just lots of good batches coming out at the right time and fighting underneath the town center and a blockhouse. This is actually going really well for Tit now. And Tit's gonna clear Risi's army. Gonna force Risi to try to retreat here with his muskets. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, Tit has 4 trading posts with Stagecoach. Or there's one? No, he has 5. He has 5. 5 Stagecoach TPs. That is a lot. Looking at economic population, there's 38 villagers for Risi compared to the 26 for Tit. But like I said, Tit does have the 5 Stagecoach TPs. He's dropping down a second barracks for Risi. And these units are going to be moving in on these villagers now, but Risi's units are right here, so they're going to be able to kind of catch them. We do have all these 1 HP Minutemen, and Risi's going to be taking the fight here. Pretty even fights. Got like 4 of the 1 HP Minutemen's back here, still staying alive for quite a long time in this fight. It's always a little annoying when you can't take down those 1 HP Minutemen. Risi chasing down Tit's army here. Do we have some reinforcing Cossacks coming in? But there's only a couple Streliths left in Tit's army here, so I think Risi's looking pretty good here. Yeah, Tit's gonna have to retreat. Picking up a couple Cossacks here. And we did have Boyar shipped for Tits, and then 13 Streliths and 700 coin. Meanwhile, Risi shipped 700 coin, then 6 muskets, and then muskets attack card and the musket HP card. Risi is trying to siege down this TP. It's always kind of a tough target. For one, it just has attack. It gives Tit all the information about Risi's entire army, and then your units can always get shot at while you're sieging down. But he was able to siege it down. So now Tit is on 4 TPs. Military population is pretty even at this point. And Tit's doing a really good job of closing that villager gap, only down 10, but with the 4 TPs. Probably at an advantage economically. And his military, he has more military population right now. And yeah, this is where it gets bad. When you try to siege down these TPs, your opponent just gets all the information of your entire army, so they know if it's good to take the engagement or not. And then they could always get free shots on you. And this is gonna look a little rough for Risi. Even if he wins this, I don't think he's gonna win this fight. It's close. He does have 2 musket cards, but I think it's just a cost-effective trade for Tit. And we do have 3 cav coming in, but not the most useful units with all these muskets. Really would have been better to send them maybe raiding. And yeah, it looks like Tit's probably going to clean up this army here. I mean, it's pretty even, but I think these are just really cost-effective trades for the Russian player. And yeah, there goes Risi's entire army. So he's now behind in the military population, and well, he does have 51 villagers to 35, but 5 TPs for Tit. Oh, trying to fix my sound. There we go. And now Tit's pushing on Risi's villagers. Oh, on both sides, both villagers that are gathering food here, so making a little bit tough for Risi to defend his hunts here. And meanwhile, yeah, you might have more villagers, but now all of them are just walking around and not gathering, or a lot of them. So that, you know, makes those villagers useless. We have a couple longbows on the field now, but another bad engagement for Risi here. He's gonna have to retreat. Definitely not a fight you want to take right here. And it's looking pretty bad for Risi at this point. And Tit is pushing. He has these Cossacks out on the field just looking for villagers to pick up. And this is where it gets really, really bad for the Brits, when the hunts start getting really thin and it's hard to defend your villagers that are gathering far out on the map at different points. And after these couple little bison run out, Tit's going to have very few options for gathering food. He's going to have to go for these forward bison. And then if he doesn't have military to defend himself from gathering there, then there's not really any way for him to gather food. We do have economic theory being shipped for Tit here. Meanwhile, Risi shipping 5 villagers and then 6 longbows. I was going to lose a couple more units here. Oh, pulls them back just in time. So Risi is trying to get out on this map and claim these hunts, as he needs to kind of take map control here and allow him to be able to gather from the hunt right here, as he just ran out of all of his hunt over here, and now he has a lot of villagers just walking around. Switch into the next resource. And we do have some Cossacks running around here. Meanwhile, Tit is advancing to H3 right now. So it could potentially give Risi a chance to make a timing push. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be his best bet, really. Yeah, if Tit did not age up and he just kept pushing, he would have probably been able to take map control of these hunts, and then Risi would have had no way to gather food at all, and it would have kind of been just GG right there. But by Tit going to H3, I mean, he's going to get access to much better shipments and all that. But it did give Risi a little bit of breathing room. So let's see if he can make something happen. But even with that being said, Tit's about to hit H3, and he has more military population than Risi right now. So not looking the best for Risi. Tit throwing down another blockhouse here, get some more map control and just another building to train military units from. And here we go, we got Risi on the move. Pretty much just a pure musket army. There's not too many Strelets from Tit though, so that's the one good thing. I think as soon as he sees this, Tit sees that Risi's army is like entirely muskets. Tit is probably going to queue up some Strelets. And there we go, Tit is now in H3. Risi does manage to siege down a trading post. And he just more Strelets here. And here we go, looks like we're going to have a big engagement right here. And yeah, I mean, Tit just getting H3, and it looks like he's probably even going to win this engagement. A lot of these cav are not pathing well. Not the best control from Tit there. And there we go, we have upgraded muskets. And it's just looking really good for Tit at this point. And we got upgraded Cossacks now. So it looks like Tit's taking this fight, and not much else that Risi has to offer. And here's all of Risi's villagers that are gathering. So yep, he sees that's a GG. So he's tapping out. Alright, so game 3 goes to Tit. So Tit is now up 2-1 in this best of 5 match. I'll take a look at some of these post-game stats, take a look at the map. So, yeah, I mean, Risi just basically let Tit get, you know, like 5 TP stagecoats pretty much for free. Wow, neither player gathered the 130 food treasure. Usually 140. I don't know if he got nerfed 10 or if that's just a unique 131. That's pretty funny, though. Yeah, I don't know. Risi just kind of letting Tit claim the TP and stagecoats for free. You gotta punish them sooner if you're gonna let them do that. Take a look at post-game stats here. So yeah, Tit did. I'll gather Risi. Villager population, of course, Risi with the villager population as British, but that's not showing the stagecoach TPs. And military. And that's it for this one. So we'll get into game 4 next. Alright, so we're going to get into this next game in just a few minutes. And game 4 is going to be played on Alaska. And we do have another series being streamed a little bit later today. Actually, a series that I'm playing in myself. It's going to be me versus Mito, best of 5. So I believe that's going to be taking place in, I guess, in like 6 hours. I could potentially move it up sooner if Mito wants to. I don't know. But yeah, me versus Mito later today. So this is a $1,600 tournament. I think this is the largest AoE3 tournament ever, I believe. Well, at least since ESOC. I think before ESOC days, they were like PK Clan. I think they actually might have had a higher tournament, but which is pretty funny. But yeah, that was back in the day. Alright, so Tit is being forced to choose his civilization first here since he just won the previous game. And civilizations do now reset, so you can repeat whatever civ. Looks like Tit is going to choose India. Let's see if he's locking in with it. Usually they want players to type it to confirm, but yep, he's greening up. So Tit is going to be playing as the India civilization. And let's see who Risi goes for. I do like India on this map. Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty fair amount of hunts. They're not too far out, but there's also sea on this map, so India can kind of easily throw it on dock, like mid-late game, and just get some extra economy through fishing. And I think it's a pretty good map for India. So let's see what Risi decides to do here. Alright, so Risi thinking what civ to pick. He is down 2-1, so it's do or die right here for Risi. So taking his time to pick the civ that he feels like he'll have the best chance with winning here. Risi taking his sweet time, not even switching through other civs, you know. Well, yeah, sometimes you see that. I mean, you already know what civ your opponent's playing, but sometimes you see players just switching through the other civs, see what looks good for them. But it looks like he's just in deep thought right now. Oh, is it alternative pick? Okay. Well, it looks like the players knew what was up. Tit was already locking in. It is alternative pick for the entire tournament? So how does... Oh, yeah. Well... How does that really work? So... Okay, so whoever wins game 1 has to pick first for game 2, and then it just alternates, regardless if that guy wins the next one. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see the first 2 games in this series, so I'm not sure who won game 1 in this series. But Tit just basically locked in with India without saying anything. So. Risi still in deep thought, deep meditation, saying some prayers before going into war. I was expecting this as one of the possible picks for Risi. So Risi is choosing the Aztec civilization. So here we are, everybody. We're getting in underway with game 4 here. Tit is up 2-1 in this best of 5 series. This is a round of 32 in the ESOC Autumn 2018 Championship Tournament, which has a $1,600 prize pool. Biggest ESOC event ever, so pretty awesome. Gotta get hyped for this tournament. Obviously already a lot of really great games, just in the round of 32 alone, of course. And yeah, these two big players battling it out in the round 32 here. Alright, so we got Risi playing as the Aztec civilization and Tit playing as the India civilization, and it's going to be a 200 wood start, 300 food, and 100 coin for Aztecs over here. And India gets 300 wood, 100 food, and 100 coin. There we go. Alright, so we got Fire Pit going down right away. Warrior Priest not going to be doing any scouting, just hopping right onto that Fire Pit. And Aztec Explorer taking the straight dead end route. Interesting scouting pattern. Probably not the most typical one, because I don't think this is where the best treasures usually are. Usually you'd kind of think you'd go to the right or the left, but just taking that beeline to Tit's town center. Tit does have the 2 explorers. He's going to be able to pick up the 60 wood treasure. Always really nice with the 2 India explorers. We do have 90 food here. Let's see if Risi tries to go for this, and he is. He's going to convert one of the wolves and try to pick up this 90 food here. And 60 wood treasure for Tit. Always nice, picking up those wood treasures, of course. And we do have a 30 coin and base for Risi that he's going to pick up later. So Risi does pick up 90 food treasure. That'll help speed up his age up, and most likely we're probably going to be seeing a rush from the Aztec player here, is what I would assume. It's Aztec's main bonus or strategy that they're good at, or one of their most popular strategies, is having a very kind of all-in rush with a lot of unit shipments early on. So probably the most likely thing to see here, but they can also play pretty boomy. They can ship warrior priests, they can dance, and for more warrior priests, and they can also ship villagers. So they have some other dimensions to their civilization. They don't have to rush, but they are pretty well known for being a rushing civilization. And India, pretty similar. India has a really good rush themselves, but they can also play very economically. Let's see, Tit is finding 150 wood treasure over here, so that's a really big one. It's a little bit hard to actually gather for the India civilization, but he can maybe gather it in H2, wait for those free sepoy. Also 110 wood treasure, so we got some big wood treasures on the map here. Alright, so let's see, Tit got 40 coin and 60 wood, while Risi got 90 food and 30 coin, so pretty even. Oh, here we go. Risi is going for this treasure. He does convert one of the coyotes, but Tit is right behind him and gonna maybe try to steal his treasure here. This is a really big treasure contention. Oh, it's gonna be a close one. Oh, I don't know. That might be Tit. That is very close. Oh, Risi does get it. That's a really big 110 wood treasure. Obviously a very big treasure. That was extremely close. So Risi does get the 110 wood. He does get his coyote killed, but getting that treasure is very important. And we do have Risi advancing to age 2 now. He is sending 3 villagers forward. Looks like maybe 1 for herding, 2 for forward war hut. And Tit is setting up to gather this 150 wood treasure, probably waiting for his age up to get those 2 sepoy to help out. And he is building a Agra, an extremely defensive Agra. I've actually never seen an Agra placed like this before. Usually when it's actually really. Oh wow! And he has 5 villagers building this Agra. So 5 villagers on an Agra, and the Agra is placed behind the town center. Usually, it's not uncommon to see the India player build a defensive Agra in this matchup, but generally it's like in front of your town center, just a little bit to gather a little bit of map control. But he actually put it behind his TC, which is. I've never thought of that, but it might actually be like a good idea. It's very non-standard, but a lot of times, like, the India player can lose because they get their aggro siege down too quickly. And obviously by putting it behind your TC, it just makes that much more difficult, as you'll have TC fire and like possible minimum pop. So it honestly makes it like impossible to like siege down this aggro almost. You'd have to take a much more difficult route to siege it down. It looks like Risi does see the Tit trying to gather this wood treasure. I think they did kill one of the bears, but oh, Risi's actually now retreating there, and now Tit's going for that treasure. So we do have the forward war hut for Risi here, so it looks like we are going to see that rush, but Tit making that extremely defensive aggro fort. We do have 700 wood being shipped for Risi, however, so it's not going to be a super all-in, like, aggressive Age 2 rush. Oh, a little upset that Risi backed off here, but looks like Tit's going to be able to pick up this treasure for free, and now Risi is making his way over here with 5 coyotes, Aztec warrior, and wolf, so he's not going to get there in time. He can maybe pick up these 2 elephants, though. That would still be pretty big. He does see the treasure, and now, there we go, he is attacking the Indian elephants. 2 sepoy are coming in. He does pick up one of the elephants, though, so that's a pretty nice pickup. Let's see if he tries to chase down these 2 sepoy, and we do have Gurkha on the field now. And this is actually pretty nice, picking up the sepoy, so this is a really good pickup for Risi. Killing 1 elephant and 2 sepoy, that's really good. And the elephant got killed pretty far out there, so it's going to be harder to rescue the elephant later when he has the health to get picked up. And we do have a market for Tit, so he's playing fairly economical, and he did open up with oh wow, he's actually shipping enlist irregulars. And here we go, big engagement. Risi going all in, trying to get on to these Gurkha, and some of the coyotes actually getting distracted and kind of going on to villagers, but ultimately he is going to clean up these Gurkha. Let's see, no Minutemen being called yet. This is what I was talking about, where it's easy to have a really good Minutemen pop because the TC is right next to the aggro, but I think Tit maybe not having the resources for the Minutemen. And yeah, Tit resources are very low at this point. And shipping enlist regulars, that makes your, that does your TC, right? That's your TC fire? That's the equivalent to, yeah, that's the equivalent to colonial militia. Risi is sieging down the TC, or not TC, the house here. And there's a 5 sepoy pop, but we do have the mace that are getting right onto the sepoy, so these sepoy melting right away. Actually, really bad pop from Risi. Should have had them come out from the aggro and save them for later. So really nice pickup from for Risi. Those sepoy melted right away, and we got quite a bit of Puma spearmen here. They're gonna be able to siege down these houses really well. And after that 700 wood, we saw 3 military shipments from Risi. And Tit is already housed, and he actually has very little to no wood. And he's at only 20 population, just population from his town center in 1 house. He does have a lot of villagers kind of luckily, sneakily gathering over here, and the aggro helps to kind of allow that. So Risi does back off here. But economically, we have Risi up 2 villagers and military lead of 17-1. And Tit trying to scramble to throw down some houses and stuff. Let's see what upgrades he researched. So Tit did research hunting eagles and blanket filters. Let's see, he researched them at 6 minutes. So he researched them 2 minutes ago. That was probably around when a lot of this action was coming in. So spent quite a bit of resources there, which didn't really allow him to have the resources to call Minutemen, which hurt him quite a bit. If he was able to call Minutemen in that early engagement, could have gone quite a bit better for Tit, especially if he could have called both sets of Minutemen. Tit is now throwing down a consulate, and we have 3 warrior priests being shipped after this, so gonna help kind of get the boom going a little bit for Risi. And 600 wood coming in for Tit. He is going to get this consulate up, but he doesn't have the export shipments. And like I said, this elephant got killed, pretty far away from his TC, so it makes it hard to get that elephant back in action. You could send a Sepoy now to go ahead and pick that guy up. I do have some small wall segments coming down here, just add a little bit more defense here for Tits. And he's actually running pretty low on hunts. I mean, even these, he does have some hunt in the back of his base, but at this point, they're pretty far away from his town center and his base. So if Risi keeps an eye on these, he can keep Tit off of these resources. And we do now have a dock down for Tit. So looks like he's going to be going for fishing boats instead here. It's going to be a very slow transition, though, as he has 0 villagers on food. Okay, looks like he's putting a couple onto this hunt now, but it's going to be quite a slow transition to get these, get that sea economy rolling. And meanwhile, we just have a few Sepoy and a few Gurkha at home defending here. He does pick up his elephant, so that's nice, of course, getting that guy back in the action. Economically, they're tied right now, 20 population both for economy. We do have a couple Puma Spearmen just defending home here, worried about some cav coming in. 5 villagers coming in for Risi, and then 300 export for Tits. And now the warrior priests looks like they're dancing to get more warrior priests. So Risi's not really getting this boom going. Shipping 3 warrior priests followed by 5 villagers, and now dancing for more warrior priests. So after that initial rush doing quite a bit of damage, he's switching to get his economy really rolling. And throwing down a second war hut, so looks like he's worried about a India push since he's playing really economically right now. He decided to drop down his war hut right next to his first war hut instead of maybe claiming more map control. This just makes it harder to push on this base. So Risi looks like mentally he's playing the boom game right now after he did a pretty successful rush. But Tit's also booming away a bit himself, so we'll see. Yeah, Tit actually taking the economic lead. So I'm not sure if this is the right call, the Aztec player trying to outboom now, because we do have Tit on C, and that C can spiral pretty quickly, especially with India, with wood trickles and yeah, just being able to gather safely all this wood here. Now throwing down some really nice walls. And yeah, we do have, let's see how many warrior priests are there though. I think 7 warrior priests dancing for some more. Tit is also closing up the military gap a bit here, and he does have the economic lead now. Oh, 3 hustlers are finding these 5 coyotes. And we already have 7 fishing boats on the field. And it looks like Tit might be moving a bit forward and thinking about pushing soon. We're just trying to kind of claim a little bit of map control. He's moving out with his 3 hustlers, but it looks like they might run into Risi's army here. We do have a big batch of, I think, 10 coyotes popping out right there. And that's actually really well. There's not too many sepoys here, so if Risi catches this army, he could have a really nice pickup here if Tit's not careful, if he moves out a little bit too much. 4 sours being shipped. And we are now getting some more sepoy added though, so now all of a sudden that coyote mass isn't going to be able to overwhelm this army quite as bit as we're getting some more sepoy here. And I don't think there are not many mace at all. Yeah, so Risi's actually going for like full coyote army. Coyote combat now coming in. Let's see, maybe this is go time for him. He had a really good kind of window earlier, but Tit can also very easily retreat with all these walls, so it's to make it hard for those coyotes to really be able to do much at all. So he's kind of getting to the point where he's going to have to start mixing in more mace, it looks like, because those sepoy are going to be able to mount the coyotes pretty quickly. Lots of warrior priests dancing, doing their dance. You even have a second dot coming down for Tit though, so he's just booming away really hard. After falling behind quite a bit, taking a lot of damage early, he's recovering quite well. And he's getting a really good boom going now. Yeah, Risi should have maybe just kept pushing in. He could have maybe perhaps overwhelmed Tit there with a rush if he just kept up the pressure, but hard to say. He did have a defensive aggro, still 2 minimens, and the enlist irregulars, so it would have been a little bit tough to push in, but we do have a stable even coming down over here. Some cavalry moving out, looking to get some raids. A lot of exposed villagers over here. The coyotes aren't too far away though, so they could potentially catch all these cav. And let's take a look at Risi's reaction time. This could be a really good raid, but it can also be a really good pickup if Risi catches all these cav. See if any villagers go down here. He does finish the one there. If he only loses one villager here, and if he did not split up these coyotes at all, that was actually really poorly. He should have had some coyotes take different angles, and that should have been a very, very easy pickup for Risi, because he had like 40 units, and he didn't even manage to snare one unit. It's actually a really poor job of trapping those cav. That would have been a really nice pickup for Risi. He could have easily cleared up that entire cav army, but he moved his entire coyote force in one group. Instead of splitting them up in like multiple groups, it would have made it very easy to catch those cav, but just move them as one giant group. He might still catch these 3 hussars though, so this is a nice little pickup alone right here. Yeah, because looks like he's gonna maybe get all 3 here. And meanwhile, Tit is not moving in though. We have a couple of Zams on the field. And Tit is moving forward into the 2 blockhouses, or 2 war huts, so let's see if Risi is going to try to defend these. These can get siege down very quickly, as you see. 10 mace popping out. Yeah, one of them is already going to get siege down. Oh, nope, he's fight starting now. And here we go, really big engagement. Sepoy are right there on the front line. Coyotes are kind of colliding with the Sepoy. Even Tiger Claws now at this point. And the military pop is very in favor for Risi, but it does not look like that. Okay, he has a lot of his army over here, that's why. War hut does go down, and it's pretty even right now. We got 2 villagers moving forward. Oh, it might get picked off here. He does still have the military lead by a little bit, but that India army is really strong. Yeah, it looks like Risi had a very large portion of his army not in the engagement at the start of this fight, and that is not going to be good for Risi at all. And all of a sudden we got some cav coming on. Some sours are trapping this army, and all they are at mace. And it's looking really bad for Risi right now. Wow, and somehow, if you look at the economic pop, 72 to 48. Like, that boat boom, I guess, just exploded. Like, Jesus. And there we go. Tit picks up game 4 here, and he takes the series 3-1. So Tit is advancing, and that is it for Risi. And it looked really good for Risi early on, but he didn't try to boat boom himself. He tried to boom after the rush, but Tit also boomed, and Tit did water boom, while Risi was just doing a slight boom with warrior priests and shipping villagers. But yeah, Risi had a good chance in this game, but couldn't take it. And even that last fight, he had a pretty large portion of his army not in at the start of the fight, so that's always, of course, really bad. But yeah, that's going to be it for this series. Tit takes it 3-1, and Tit is advancing. Let's take a look at how is Tit's tournament life going to be looking. Alright, so Tit advances, and he's going to be going versus Kinesi in the round of 16. That should be a really entertaining one. Both those 2 guys are really good friends. They play team games a lot, and I think play 1v1s versus each other quite a bit. So it'd be really interesting to see Tit versus Kinesi in round of 16. That'll be a really good series. 2 really good players. Hard to say who the favorite is there. But that is going to be it for this stream, everybody. Yep, that's going to be it for this stream. There is going to be Midle versus GiveUAnxiety, myself. It's going to take place a little bit later today, so keep an eye out for that. That series will be streamed here at twitch.tv/ESOC TV. What did I say? Yeah, actually it is twitch.tv/ESOC TV. It's funny, 2 TVs. But yeah, that's all I got for you for now. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next one.